Hi, everyone. We're going to talk about last week in AEW All In and NXT Great American Bash and WWE Evolution, man. Oh, man, was it so great, man. Let's talk about it. So, yes, guys, Adam Cole has an injury. Hope the speed recovery for him. Thank you, Adam Cole. Thank you, Adam Cole, for all the good memories, and stuff. And then he had to force to relinquish the TNT championship, and then we had a four-way with Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara and Kyle Fletcher and Daniel Garcia, which was a good match, but we'll talk about that later. So let's start off with Shane Taylor's promotions, Vince's Son of Texas. Let's talk about it, guys. So Sammy Guevara and Lee Marnotti start filling out, and Cobra Twist gets a drop kick, and Sammy Guevara slips up and stands tall, and taking Lee into the corner and tags into Marshall and scoops a slam, but Lee Marnotti rolls away and tags Charlie Bravo in, and Ross comes into side headlock. Ross is, the Von Erichs, if you know what I'm talking about, guys. And Ross comes into and side headlocks and shoots off and drops down Abel from the infantry, keeps Von Erichs for balance, and Dean comes in to put boots to him into the corner. STP overwhelms Ross with strikes in the corner, and Sean with a big top Kungru to take the action to the floor, and Shane Taylor with the lowest head of the stem in Texas and a big splash on Marshall and shoulder blocks for the other three, Son of Texas, and Shane working Ross over big chomps and elbow, and Von Erichs sidestep, a charge, scoop, and a slam, and then Anthony Ogogo gets in, the dad's face, the Von Erichs dad's face, Kevin Von Erichs face, but Wyatt and Wayne, the youngest generation of wrestling Rhodes man, has the legends back, and Anthony Ogogo back downs Dustin, tags in and cleans house, and the ring fills with matches, and we have Iron Claws and Sins from the Suns, and Anthony Ogogo gets in the ring, but here comes the Von Erichs dad again, Kevin Von Erich with a Iron Claw for the win, and that's how they won the match, guys, with the dad's help with Kevin Von Erich, and that's what happened, guys, with the Iron Claw, and that's how they won and defeated the Shane Taylor's promotions, and that's how the Son of Texas won that match, with the Von Erichs. Then we had Big Boom AJ, AJ, and Hologram and Kyle O'Reilly and Tomohiro Ishii fences the Don Callis family, Ichishiro and Lance Archer and Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta. This was a cool match to talk about, guys. Let's talk about it. The chaos from the jump, and Nigel makes a gross and pointless Harry Potter reference, and the babyfaces get the better of the brawl since Lance Archer sends him to the floor, and Rocky Romero and AJ are illegal, and double shoulder block and big belly to belly suplex from Big Boom tags into Kyle O'Reilly, and a little Merlinson stuff, domination, Merlician and Hologram in, and big drop kick and standing moonsault, and Rocky falls back and tags Ichishiro in and drops Toehold into a sunset flip of his own, and ascends off the ropes into a victory roll pin, cover for two, and Ichishiro ducks a super kick past him over the ropes and catching him on the ropes through, and Hologram with a hurricane nope, and then leg picks for the ascents, and Kyle O'Reilly tags in and gets caught by a basement drop kick, and a DDT combo, and Lance Archer tags in and cleaning the ropes and charging back elbow on Kyle O'Reilly, and passing him to the floor. The tag to Trent Beretta, and Rocky Romero gets into it with AJ on the floor, and Trent comes out and pie face Big Justin butt over tricking, and Papa comes over and furious, but Rocky takes advantage and works Kyle over and drops him into the ring for Trent to have his way with it. Then Rocky Romero in head of steam drop kicks the match, breaks down, and we get back to the two fighting for Prince Deja Vu into a pin, and Inchacero kicks out, and Hologram shoves Trent into Rocky, ducks a lariat and Spanish fly on Rocky Romero, but the score cuts him off and whips reverse, and Tomorrow Ishii tags in and blinds Hologram and suicide headbutt to whip Inchacero out, and Tom and Lynch clobbered away since fighting over a suplex, and Ichi side slams the charge, and Lynch Archer blocks the suplex and lands a front suplex slam, and Big Owl knocks Tom off his feet, but Tomorrow Ishii lands him out and tags AJ in, and right hands spinebuster on Trent Beretta, and Rocky Romero cuts him off of the ropes, and Big Boom press slams him to the floor into Lynch Archer, and then hanging Trent, boom, boom, boom. Then Inchacero cuts him off with right hands, whips to the corner, and racing knee, and fires up and causing a spill, but Hologram takes him out with a diving crossbody and X smash from Kyle, and flinching off RPG fence 2-for-1 and double knees, sending him packaging Ichi in to draw Romero's attention. Then Trent working AJ over, both babyfaces stand up or sense strength in the corner and march in before dropping BRG fence with right hands and double teaming Trent Beretta, and Lynch Archer breaks it up in a big choke slam on Big Tom, and big boots from Big Boom, and Hologram with a diving Frankensteiner on Lynch, and Inchacero catches him but gets countered to the floor, and Kyle O'Reilly with a plancha, and Lynch Archer and Inchacero catch him, but Hologram dives on them with a suicide Aximal to the floor, and AJ hanging Rocky with this time, and Trent Beretta cuts him off with a super kick, and Trent Beretta charges in, and Big Boom whips him out with a lariat, and the refs distract Big Justice in the ring, and spears to Trent, which was cool with the kid with the spear to Trent Beretta. Big Justice does a spear. Then father and son hug, and AJ tells them to get out of the ring and hooks Romero, and Big Boom AJ, and the congregation win by pinfall with a power bomb from AJ on Rocky Romero, and that's what happened right there. Then we had FTR fences the Outrunners, which was a fun tag team match. Let's talk about it, guys. FTR fences the Outrunners. So Truth, Truth, Magum, and Dex Hardwood to start, and Matt Graveline and big right hands from Truth, and since Dax picking, and Wheeler comes in and taking them on 2-for-1 and tags to Floyd, and double whips and double side under since right hand, and the Outrunners get Cash essentially quick tags and working him over, and big back suplex from Triple Floyd, no fall when Cash Wheeler rolls too close to the ropes mid pin, and Floyd cuts off double whip and flare flip, and he crashes clean to the floor, and Dex Hardwood falls after blood in the water and working his knees over and taking a fan's glasses to mock them, and back inside figure four leg lock ascends and gets out of it, but FTR stands on him back and forth, and True Maxim on the right side of town now, and Dex scoops a slam, and a fetching elbow comes up empty, and Truth with a slingshot sunset flip, but Cash breaks it up. Then Then Truth Maxim into the corner and charging through and leg frog from attack, but FTR catches him and double take them down, and Dex clears the ropes and Rocky launcher, but still no, and Dex and Truth both down and out, and Cash argues with the ref and then shoves him down, and Stokely halfway argues with him, and the ref doesn't see Turbo makes the tag and makes him get back to the ropes, and then Floyd tags hot and scoop after scoop and slam after slam. He is fired up and charging Larry's to the corner and a cover and no deal, and then Cass Wheeler holds Turbo Floyd in place and he ducks out, and Dex Hardwood with a schoolboy and a handful of tights and so close, and Cash goes up top, and Dex Hardwood thinking pile driver. Truth knocks Wheeler down, and diving crossbody opens the door for a cover, and Dex kicks out, and Sunset Flips blocks. Truth Maxim takes Cash out, and a Sunset Flip again, and Dex Hardwood kicks out, and the Outrunners throwing heavy punches, and Shutter Machine blocks, and Turbo with right hands and running low on gas, and FTR has him in position, and Shutter Machine blocks in the other distraction, and Total Recall connection cover, and Stokely halfway pulls Floyd off the pin to break it up, and then Stokely halfway since walks away, and Turbo Floyd confronts him, and he breaks into a clean run in and back out, and Turbo distracts him and Schoolboy and feet on the ropes, and that's how they won with the feet on the ropes, and that's how FTR won with the Schoolboy pin with the help of Stokely halfway, guys. Then we had the opener, the Death Riders fences the Ops. Let's talk about that here in a second, guys. I'm going to take a little breather, and we're going to talk about that, guys. Had to take a little break right there, guys. Sorry about that. But that match with the Death Riders and the Hops, it was really good. But Joe got hurt in that match. Guys, he got hurt after the match and stuff. And man, the Hops won that match, and man, I'm telling you, that was a good match. But let's talk about it anyway. So yeah, man. Oh man. So basically, they were going back and forth, boom, boom, boom. Really good action, really good stuff. Oh man, I'm telling you. Oh man. I might speed it up and stuff, guys. I'm sorry if I speed it up. But but yeah. But the chaos brawling and stuff, guys, the chaos is brawling and they go back and forth, like I said again, which they were brawling and stuff, which was really good. And then they start and then settle down to Shibata and Gabe Kidd with Shisley brawling and Shibata knocks him down with a hard kick and we get a tag to Joe and Wheeler Yuta, and Wheeler Yuta's looking for a drop toe hold and Samoa Joe counters and a grab side headlock and shuts off blocking and Samoa Joe drops him with a right hook and landing the chops in and a big chop and a whip across and back elbow to the Incendiary to tag to Will Hobbs. And Will Hobbs with a delay since suplex on Wheeler Yuta and drawing him right back up to Shibata, tagging into Shibata, and Claudio Castagnoli comes in and ascends to him, trading uppercuts with Berserns, and Shibata blasts him with a big boot, a cinch drop kick, half clinch, suplex, and a cover for two. And Samoa Joe tags in and ends up on the floor, and Gabe Kidd and Wheeler Yuta work him over and throws him back inside, and quick tags to working Samoa Joe over, and Claudio Castagnoli drops kicks Shibata off the apron and jaw on Hobbs, and then the open to the floor for Joe to land some chomps in for some breathing room, and Claudio Castagnoli stands on him essentially through and whips reverse and huge low fronts, low roll leg sweep in a Suicide, and Claudio Castagnoli bounce face first and comes up lynching his nose, and Will Hobbs tags in a one-man rushing crew, and Claudio Castagnoli cuts his run off with a Swiss death and tags in Shibata in this bear and a penalty kick, but Claudio Castagnoli breaks it up and they go to the brawl with Will Hobbs onto the floor and swinging him hard into the barricade, and Gabe Kidd and Samoa Joe going hard, and Gabe Kidd biting his face, and Samoa Joe with the snap scoop power slam, but again Claudio Castagnoli breaks it up and the match breaking down, and Shibata blasts Wheeler Yuta with a kick and Samoa Joe gets him up, and then the Hobbs win by pinfall with a muscle buster from Samoa Joe on Wheeler Yuta, and that's how they retain the AEW Trios titles. And then the post-match, the challengers take down their frustration on the champions, and then a news later, Claudio Castagnoli's news later on Samoa Joe, and then a power driver from Shibata, and then a chair shot to Will Hobbs onto the floor, and Claudio horse clears Samoa Joe with a chair, and then running stomp to send Samoa Joe's neck, and then the medics check on Samoa Joe and stretcher him out, and that's what happened right there, guys. And then we had the Man's Casino Gauntlet, and MJF won this Man's Casino Gauntlet. Oh man, this was good. This was good. The Man's Casino Gauntlet was good, man. And then I'm going to tell you guys, Athena won the Women's Casino Gauntlet, which was good too, guys, which we're going to talk about in a bit. So, yes, guys. So, Anthony Bones faced Mandito and Beast Mortals, and Brody King and Josh Alexander, and then we had the return of Juice Robertson and Tutesta and Kota Ibushi and Mark Briscoe fences Max Caster and MGF and Misto and Ricochet and Roderick Strong. Oh man, I'm telling you guys, I thought Darby Allin was going to be in this man's Casino Gotland, but he did come in the end, guys. He did come in the end. I appreciate you coming in like that. Appreciate that comment. So yes, guys. Mark Briscoe and MGF start the match, and MGF with a schoolboy out the gate and backslide, small package, and Mark Briscoe doubles legs him, and Stone Cold chokes him, and Max puts boots into him in the corner, and MVP joins us on commentary, and MGF is sits in the turnbuckle and off the ropes, and Doug stumps, but Mark Briscoe pops right back up and ready to whip his butt, and then Lennon chomps in and whip reverse and big back body drop, and Mark Briscoe lands on his feet and chomps and elbows in the ropes and takes MJF off his feet and underhook. The countdown timer ticks, and then Ricochet enters the match third, and MJF offers him allies, and Ricochet shakes his hand, and they team up on Mark Briscoe and stomping and choking, and then the countdown timer kicks, and then Bandito enters as 4, and Bandito putting some motivation in the match, and Mark Briscoe back bodies, drops every damn body to the floor, and drop kicks Ricochet through the ropes, and a planche connects, and then he cannonballs MGF to the floor, and Rick and Bandito, Ricochet and Bandito lock up, and Mark Briscoe knocks them both to the floor, and the countdown timer ticks, and then the Tutesta enters as 5, and Tutesta and Ricochet right into Rick's with strike elbows, and he gets caught with the Blue Thunder driver and so close, and then Tutesta and Bandito at it, and the Alpha blocks a kick but eats a drop kick and charging kicks, and a side steps to the charge, and a poison Frankensteiner spikes Tutesta, and MGF returns to drop Bandito with rights, and MGF working Bandito over, grabbing the mask, and the countdown timer ticks, and Misto enters as 6, and Misto takes his time entering while the crowd grooves to his music, and he stands still in front of MGF and loads with punches and a handspring back elbow and a knock lock lucha arm drag sends Tutesta to the floor, and Bandito in with him in a big sense. It sends the Ring of Honor World Champion to the floor, and Misto goes up top and slims down back up top, and a huge plancha to the floor, and then back inside with MJF. Mesa connects with Lynch to its back into the middle of the ring, but Mark Briscoe slides into, keeping him from tapping out and grabbing an armbar of his own, and Tutesta breaks it up, and the countdown timer ticks, and Josh Alexander enters as 7. And then ring getting kind of full, and he's belly to belly suplex, and Misto German suplex from Ricochet, and a high five from Tutesta, and Tutesta throws Bandito into a rolled strongest slam into the apron, then a huge crossbody through the ropes, and then Tutesta top congru whip everyone out, and then the Alphas pulls from the crowd, and the countdown timer ticks, and then Anthony Bowens enters as 8th and getting into it with Josh Alexander in a face buster since face lock and a neck breaker and a duck and a kick from Ricochet, swinging out into the face buster and a hand slap for Mark Briscoe, and the two baby faces start trading elbows, and a big crimson kick from Anthony Bowens and pulsing in the ropes, and Alexander and Tutesta coming up behind him and tells them both to suck his, you know what, And then instead of that, they both land elbows on him, and then they two-plex him, and not exactly what Anthony was asking for, but that was, the whole thing with all of that. And then the countdown timber ticks, and then Roderick Strong enters as 9, and Strong comes in hot and a Olympic slam onto Testa, but Alexander breaks it up and trading chomps, whips across, and Josh floats over and scoops front kicks and assists backbreaker cover for 2, and the countdown timer ticks, and then Brody King enters enters 10th, guys, and King and Bandito working together and neutralizing the Callis family and charging strikes, and Brody lands a boss man slam on Ricochet, and Brody King grabs a sleeper on MJF, and MJF risks his eyes to escape and charging in, and Stinger splash to MJF, and a cannonball to Ricochet, and a cannonball to Testa for Josh, and letting MJF up one more time, and a cannonball. Ricochet breaks up the cover, and Bandito off the top, and a frog splash, and the countdown ticks, and Juice Robinson is back and enters 11, and he shaved his whole face, guys. He looks different now. Juice Robinson looks way different now, guys. Then the countdown timer ticks, and to test Kota Ibushi enters as 12, and Kota Ibushi lands everybody out with a wrong kick and a duck under a lariat from Testa, and he takes his head off, and Brody King is the only one who can stand up to the Golden Star. Even he is full by a Gaiman girl lighting Anthony Bowens up with a strike, Russ, and a fire up standing moonsault covered for 2, and the countdown timer ticks, and Beast Mortals enters as 15, guys. Yeah, and then Beast Mortals in Strong Tuplex and Josh Alexander into Mark Briscoe, and Ricochet lights him up with chomps and whips across, and he scoops Ricochet up and lands an ascent backbreaker, and Ritz drops into a backbreaker, and Beast Mortals and Brody King lunge it out, and Beast Mortals off the ropes with a spear, and then a tombstone cool breaker takes Anthony Bowens out, and Big Sense lariat from Testa, and Strong offers a hug for his boy, the Beast Mortals, but eats a headbutt for his trouble. Then up top, Misto takes Beast Mortals off of his feet with a Frankensteiner and covers for 2, and Ricochet with a running shooting star press, and Misto kicks out and thinking Frigago, and Bandito cuts him off with a kick and a backbreaker. Rusk X knee connects off the ropes, and 21 plex, but Testa rushes in and German suplex to both of them, and Roderick Strong pushes in with the cinch Rupson driver, but Josh Alexander breaks it up in his ancient powerbomb, but Mark Briscoe breaks it up with a froggy bow, and Anthony Bowens catches Mark into the ropes in an Incendiary and a DDT cover, but Brody King breaks it up in a fire thunder connects, but couldn't follow it up, and then Juice with the job and a back suplex, and the Beast Mortals breaks it up and hits a pop-up Samoan drop on Juice Robinson, and then Kota Ibushi back in and striking away on Beast Mortals, and a big lariat takes him off of his feet, and because Since connects, but Roderick Strong lands the Como Since knee strike and ends of Heartache, and MJF breaks it up, and Roderick Strong with back elbow pump up top knee from MJF, and a Alabama slam with the jackknife pin, and Roderick Strong kicks out. Then MJF lands chomps in the ropes with a whip across stick kick and connects, but MJF rolls out of the ring, and then the countdown timer ticks, and Matt Caster enters in the ring, guys, as the last competitor. And Matt Kessler ascends to the ring and just his open challenge sticking thing and asking the crowd to chat for him and standing over and hurting Anthony Bowens in the wrist. And Anthony Bowens rips him up, and Roderick Strong blasts him with a knee and trades chomps with Mark Briscoe in the middle of the ring. And Mark Briscoe underhooks counters and fireman carry double knee buster, but Mark Briscoe drops him with a big lariat and a underhook, and Jay Drizzler and MJF throws Mark out of the ring and steals it with a Lissa press, and it's over, and MJF wins a pinfall with the Lissa press on Roderick Strong and earns himself an AEW World Championship, guys. Oh, man. Then we had Stokely Halfway cuts a promo backstage saying that FTR are down with the Outrunners and they're going to be watching the tag title match tonight, and they better than that, and they're going to be on commentary for that one, and they hope that everyone has a good time, and they want to grab a brunch and come back to see Adam Cole in the ring to officially relinquish the AEW TNT Championship. And then he talks about how much it means for the fans to be supportive of him every step of the way, and he loves us forever for it, and he doesn't want to take up any more time, and he thanks everyone for making AEW special and changing his life, and he leaves the belt in the ring and waves us since leaving his pals in Paragon and stopping for a hug and some words of encouragement from Daniel Garcia. Then, appreciate you watching. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Then we had Daniel Garcia fences Dustin Rhodes, fences Kyle Fletcher and Sammy Guevara for the AEW TNT Championship. And Dustin Rhodes won this match, guys, which, in my opinion, which was a good match, but I think Kyle Fletcher should have won this match, in my opinion. But let's talk about it. So Kyle Fletcher and the son of Texas getting into it and double suplex, sliding knee, and sending moonsault, and Kyle Fletcher rolls to the floor, and Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara rolling around, and Kyle Fletcher returns and eats a double drop kick, and Sammy Guevara ropes into front of Daniel Garcia and does his little dance, and Kyle runs in, but they work together on him again, only for him to take them both out with a double lariat and toe-to-toe with Dustin Rhodes and a leg sweep, elbow drop to the knee steps, and the young baby faces pop up to the apron and drop him before fighting. I'll say it again. Yeah, appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. Oh, and then the young baby faces pop up to the apron and drop him before fighting since themselves, and Sammy Guevara Spanish fly off the apron into the floor, and the Bulls men are down and out, and Kyle with a sense driver. I was thinking Kyle Fletcher with a driver on Dustin Rhodes, only good for one, and a figure four leg lock since, and Daniel Garcia takes Sammy Guevara into the ring and puts him in a figure four leg lock. And then Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes both roll over to reverse the pressure, and Daniel Garcia and Kyle Fletcher trade slaps till they both fall out of their respective hold, and Sammy and Kyle onto the floor, and Guevara comes back, and Garcia cuts him off into the turnbuckle, and Kyle enters in a flint, and Daniel superplexes the both of them, covered for two, and then the old man, Dustin Rhodes, wakes up and cleans house, and Kyle Fletcher whips him across only to eat the flip power driver and sits headlock, and Crossroads connects, and Fletcher kicks out at the last fraction of a second, and Dustin sets Kyle up in the ropes and shatters his dreams, but Daniel Garcia offends and a smile on his face, and Daniel Garcia turns around and punts Kyle Fletcher and right in his gentleman area, and then Kyle still hangs up, and Sammy Guevara wants to take a turn and nails him right in the bit, as long as Dustin hits the Shutter Dream and friendly fire from Sammy Guevara on Dustin Rhodes, and Daniel Garcia puts him in the Boston Crab, and Sammy Guevara fights out in the GTH on Daniel Garcia, and Dustin breaks it up, and Sammy Guevara is upset, and Dustin Rhodes explains this is his only only shot, and Daniel Garcia blindsides Sammy Guevara with the Three Amigos to no reaction in Texas up top, which that was a good Three Amigos, guys, and stuff like that. And then Daniel Garcia cuts him off in a Dragon Tamer, but Kyle Fletcher pulls him to the floor in an apron power slam, one from Sammy 2, and Kyle Fletcher charges in on Dustin Rhodes into the counter and a big boot, hanging him, letting go when he sees Sammy Guevara, and Sammy Guevara hits the diving ace crusher, and Daniel Garcia nails Sammy Guevara with a pile driver, and Dustin Rhodes steals the pin on him with a crucifix and still no, and Daniel Garcia with chomps on chomp and roll over, still a second step through Dragon Tamer in a sense into the middle of the ring, and Dustin rolls through and reverses, and Dustin Rhodes does with a small package and becomes the new TNT champion, guys. And I don't know why. I really know why I know why they gave it to Dustin Rhodes, because that's his home state. So I get why they did that. So then, oh man, then we had Swerve Strickland fences Will Ospreay fences the Young Bucks. Man, that was a banger tag team match. A banger tag team match, I tell you. Oh man. And Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay won, and the Young Bucks are no longer EVPs, man. Oh man. So funny stuff that they did, Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay, with that whole thing. That was funny. What Dynamite, we'll have to talk about that later and stuff, man. Oh man. So Ospreay and Matthews to start circling Will with a side headlock and tags to Nicholas, and catching Swerve Strickland with a stiff cursing neck breaker and a back breaker combo, and the babyfaces go to the floor to regroup, and back inside Swerve assiduously tags and Matthew back as well, and drop toe hold and a slingshot leg drop from Nicholas, and Ospreay runs in and a Lucha arm drag since combo takes both babyfaces out, and the Bucks are holding the court and flexing in the ring, and then Will tags back in and a squaring up with Matthew, and he clears Nicholas from the apron, and Lenny chomps in on the Elder Bucks in the tag to Swerve Strickland double back elbow and a double hip toss from Nicholas, running in and chasing the Dragon, connects in a scoop of a slammer since motion corkscrew moonsault, nope, and then the Bucks launching a comeback since Frankensteiner for Will Ospreay in a penalty kick off the apron on Swerve, and then a drop salt from Will Ospreay sets up in an Incendiary and a springboard counter, and Nicholas lands the Suicide Cinch Dragon out to the floor, and a repeat the Suicide Prince hanging off the apron this time, and Will up in the tombstone position, but Swerve runs interference, and since special nobody home, and he lands on his feet, and he eats a super kick party, and taking Will Ospreay back inside, and the Young Bucks work him over at some length, and finally Swerve tags back in and diving corkscrew uppercut, and Matthew cuts him off with a cross stomp to the throat, and Swerve Strickland counters a Frankensteiner into a power slam cover, and still no, and action to the floor, and back in and double hot spot since corkscrew moonsault, and not enough. Then back and forth, Matthew got for a buckshot, and Ospreay counters fast pace and super kick flying a Crowsbros face buster on Will, and kick on kick on kick on kick. Man, that was so, I'm telling you guys. Oh man. Telling you. Then everybody peering off the counter, and babyfaces in position, and since Styles Clash almost gets the job done, underhook up for it, and Swerve stomps it since Stormbreaker, but the younger Bucks break it up, and Prince Nana eats a super kick onto the floor, and Matthew lands a kick to the German City Gentlemen's area. And since Will Ospreay and more bang for your buck on Ospreay follows it up, and Will Ospreay will not stand down and standing up on him. The EVP trigger connects and Swerve Strickland makes the save, and Will goes for the hidden blade, but accidentally knocks Swerve Strickland with it. At that moment, I was like, "Oh, here we go with the Young Bucks winning," but it didn't happen. And then EV trigger hits a second time, and a second time Will Ospreay kicks out, and then a TK driver. Nothing is going to stop Will Ospreay from taking their power from you Young Bucks, and then baby faces take down and out, and the Young Bucks trying to figure out what's on earth they need to do to stop them, and hanging Will Ospreay in the ropes, and they take him to the super kick party. And then Swerve Strickland gets in front of Will Ospreay since his eyes and raising to his feet, and he takes one super kick in a second, and he gets back to his feet in a third and a fourth, and a sixth refused in his spine, a cinch yells on his lips, and a fifth super kick, and he blocks the EVP trigger, and a backslide set up a tombstone position, and Swerve Strickland stomp tombstone power driver, but Matthew kicks out, and then Swerve and the pill talk, and a hiding blade connects, and Nicholas shoves Swerve Strickland into the cover to break it up, and then throws to the floor, and the Younger Bucks eats a Swerve stomp off the apron, and Swerve Strickland tags in, and an elbow pad is off, and then Matthew down and out since in the middle of the ring, reaching to his corner, and the house call, hiding blade, total domination, and that did it. And that's how the Young Bucks are no longer the EVPs in AEW, guys. I'll say it again. The house call and a hiding blade, total elimination, and that's how they won, guys. With the house call, the hiding blade, total elimination, and that's how they won. Man, that was a great match, man. I'm telling you, tag team matches like that is what I love about tag team wrestling. Oh, man. Then we had the Women's Casino Gauntlet, guys. I'm going to take a little breather here again. Man, I'm going to take a little breather right here, guys. So yeah, guys, I'm back again. So yes, we had Alex Winters fences Athena, fences Julia Hart, fences Chris Statlander, fences Megan Bain, fences Mia Sharakawa, fences Queen Amanada, fences Shirna, I can't pronounce the name. Shanari, I think that's how you pronounce it. Shanari, fences Ty Mello, fences Tekla, fences Thunder Rosa, fences Willow Nightingale, and the Casino Gauntlet. So let's talk about it, guys. So Chris Statlander and Megan Bain start the match and test the strength to start, and neither woman able to get an advantage. And Megan Bain knocks her with an elbow, and Chris Statlander returns the favor and twoplex blocks, and same the other distraction and mocking for precision. And Megan does the deal with a Falcon Arrow and action to the floor, and Chris whips her out in a moonsault off the apron, but she wastes no time flexing, and the Meganess, the Meganess is Megan Bain, guys, which I made a mistake that one time. I thought that was their tag team name with Passivity Forward. But that's her character. The Mechanist drives on her, and Prince connects, and the countdown timer ticks, and Willow Nightingale enters 3, and Willow Nightingale gets into it with Chris Statlander as soon as she hits the ring, and Lowell Crossbody throwing her into the ropes, and a big crush spine buster rolling her through, and Megan Bayne returns to the ring and takes Willow Nightingale out with a flipping lariat and double choke slam on Willow Nightingale, since Alex again temporarily allies as the countdown timer ticks, and Ty Mello enters as 4, and Chris Statlander with a twist lock, and Ty Mello reverses in a spinning bulldog and pump kick from Megan, and 1 from Chris Statlander 2, and Megan Bayne gets under her and fades since reverse into a ring of Saturn into the middle of the ring, and Penalty forward goes up top to run interference, and NJ cuts her off, but Harley Cameron appears in a cinch and face mask and shoves her down, and Taya cleans the ring, and NJ lights Penalty forward up, and Harley comes to her aid, and they chase forward up in a sense as the countdown timer ticks, and Tekla enters as 5, and their sense takes Willow Nightingale off of her feet and pump kicks 1 from the apron 2, and heads top since diving crossbody to take Megan Bayne and Chris Statlander off, and Ty Mello in with Tekla and getting her up for the Ty KO, but Willow Nightingale rushes right over to cut her off with a bounce and pulling Tekla up, and Willow Nightingale gets her up at a Dr. Bomb, and Chris Statlander breaks it up, and Chris Statlander gets under Willow Nightingale and Megan Bayne with a boomstay device, and the countdown timer ticks, and then Julia Hart enters as 6, and Julia Hart heads right up top in her turns driving moonsault and takes Chris and Megan right out, and sits knocks the knock lock, I'll just say that, knuckle lock, walking the ropes in old school connect and northern lariat, and follows it up, and Blue Sky runs with a kick and helps her Pell and an octopus hold since, and Ty Mello cuts Julia off and sits pile driver, and Tekla breaks it up, and then I'll say gotcha pile driver, and Tekla breaks it up, and then an elbow spider walk, the countdown timer ticks, and then Queen Aminata enters, and Queen Aminata and Tekla since light each other up with hateful hands, and Queen Crown connects and trading huge slaps off the ropes, and a huge elbow from Queen, and it follows it up with a fireman neck breaker off the ropes, and Queen Aminata hits off of her hand, and Willow Nightingale breaks it up with a suicide, and then Willow Nightingale sends Queen up top, and meeting of the mine on Julia Hart, and Sky Blue mounts punches on Julia Hart, but Sky Blue again saves her pal and lands a chicken nozzle on Willow, and Hart climbs up with her since spider suplex from Julia and Tekla as the countdown timer ticks, and Mia Sharakawa enters off the ropes and whips Blue out, and rolling soul butt from Hart, and big arm drag followed, and she got a shimmin, but Chris Statlander and Megan Bayne whipped her out from behind, and Mia Sharakawa working fast and victory roll through it into a deadlock on Chris Statlander, and spiking the message with a DDT and a wrenching knee. A wrenching Chris Statlander knee, and Sky Blue cuts her off in the corner, and the ref tries to get her out of the match, and Mia spins a dragon screw off an electric chair and puts her into a figure 4 leg lock as the countdown timer ticks. Then Athena enters and cleans house in there, and the countdown ticks, and then Thunder Rosa enters, and then Rosa runs into it with Athena. I was thinking Rosa runs into it with Athena, then a big right elbow and a drop kick to the counter, and a side Russian leg sweep rolls over into the Cobra clutch, but Queen Aminata breaks it up and since Thunder out of the ring, and Chris Statlander with the sense for her, and Willow connects the chain, and the countdown timer ticks. So they get the timer ticks. Then Shikari enters, and Shikari drops Athena and Mia with a rolling headbutt, and Favorite returns off the ropes and under the lariat, and a fast-paced good footwork. Snap, Mar connects, and then countdown timer ticks, and Alex Winters enters, and Winters goes after Sonari and spikes her with a DDT back suplex and connects Blue Thunder Driver, fending Rosa off, and Alex draws Sonari up and trolling elbow German suplex, and Winters rolls through and back to her feet and returns the favor and raising knee from Sonari cover, and everybody is breaking up. Then everybody peers up and crawling, and Hart and Tekla were tussling since again with turning turrets, and Queen Maranata does the head scissors but pumps to Chris Statlander to Megan Bayne makes the save, and Megan Bayne, Chris Buster, and Chris Statlander on the apron, and Wolf Nightingale with the Death Valley Driver on the apron, and Ty Mello takes Sonari down and screams about it, and Megan Bayne up top, and Chris Statlander over her avalanche powerbomb off the apron, and then into the crush of body onto the floor, and then Thunder Rosa and Mia Shirakawa raised from the race age, and Mia with a driving slings blade landing her up top, but Thunder blasts her with a back fist kick and combo and big knee, and Mia with a part of rolling elbows and a wrist saw running house kick at current, but no cover, and she drags Rosa into the middle of the ring and spinning toe hold, and Athena with the old face out of nowhere, and that's how she won, and Athena won with the old face on Mia Shirakawa and earning herself an AEW Women's Championship, guys. Then we had FTR, including Stokely Hathaway, makes his entrance to join the commentary and stuff for this one with the Jet Speed fences, the Heart Syndicate fences, the Penetry. Yes, guys, and the Heart Syndicate won this match and retained their tag team championships. Let's talk about it, guys. The Heart Syndicate on the Bros of the Gates, and MJF gets some lick in from his pals too, and crushing the Penetry, and then Jet Speed throws Mike Bailey in the ring, and Bobby Lashley blasts them with overhead elbows, and a feed keeps skipping and sluttering. So all of that stuff, guys, and back and forth, really good action and all of that. And then Kyle jumps in here in defensive sense and all of that, and all of that, guys, and then the spear, Bobby Lashley won with the spear and stuff, and then all of that, and then all of that good stuff. And that's what happened, and that's how they won and retained their titles, with Bobby Lashley doing the spear. And then after the match, Christian tosses them, and FTR got into the ring and confronted the Penetry, and Christian was backing down and letting his ropes out of the ring, but then Nick Wayne grabs him and hits the Prettier, and they snapped. He snapped, and he was tired of Christian's crap and stuff. And then FTR is shocked and engages Nick Wayne along and sets up a Shin's chair to him for him, but Adam Copeland is here, and he gets on his board of his nails, and Rated R runs over, Rated R superstar Adam Copeland over Nick Wayne on the way to the ring and cleans it, and he stares down Christian, and who is coming through, and he drops his weapon and helps up and tells his poor best friend, go find yourself, which that was good, guys. Then we had Mercedes Moné fences Toni Storms. Great match. Great freaking match with Toni Storms fences Mercedes Moné, guys. Back and forth. Really good stuff. Let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about it. So collar elbow onto the floor on the apron. Toni Storms rolls in and taunts her by rolling around and kicking her legs, and whips across and sends Fake out into a schoolboy pin and cover for one, and an O'Connor roll for one, and Monet rolls into the statement maker, and Tony rolls out and spanks her and all that. And then before nothing is working, all of that stuff, guys. And then only good one thing and into diving into saying and all of that stuff back and forth, really good action. Then after since servant heart, all of that stuff, guys. And then Tony with a hip attack with the Storm Zero cover and Snoop CCM chicken swing ascends into the middle of the ring, and Mercedes bites to get free, and Mercedes Moné with a rapes fine ankle lock and rolls up, no deal. Then O'Connor rolls, Tony Storms kicks out and gets her, and Monet Maker connects and not enough, and Tony breaks on her feet and snap suplex, and the Mercedes counters, rolling into a double wrist lock, and Tony Storms counters and suplexes a neck breaker and rolling through, and Tony Storms Zero, I'll sit again, Storm Zero a second time, and a Storm Zero a third time, and a Mercedes Moné will not stay down, then down and out in the corner, and Tony charges in from the hip attack, and Mercedes with a small package and so close, and back into the statement maker, fighting out and fighting over a fireman carry, low blower connects, and hip attack falls, and fighting up the turnbuckle, and Tony lands a kiss, hook her in an avalanche Storm Zero, and it was over, and that's how Tony Storms won the match and kissed her, and then did the hook and did the avalanche Storm Zero, and that's how she retained her title, and it was a good match. Loved it, man. Then we had Okada fences Omega. This was a banger. This was a banger, man. Back and forth, boom, 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 boom. Oh man, I'm telling you guys. Oh man. Okay, so Okada fences Kenny Omega. I'll say it again. Okada fences Omega for the AEW International, AEW Continental, AEW in Qualified Championship. So yes, guys, AEW in Qualified Championship title match right here, guys. Okada fences Omega. Let's talk about it. So counter and elbow in the ropes. Okada breaks clean with a pad on the chest and back into the lockup, struggling into the ropes, and this time Omega breaks clean with a peck of the chest, and Okada with a kick to her since Kenny comes back and strong with chomps with the Rainmaker poke in his eye, and then the action to the floor with a crush back inside, and Omega with a crossbody, but Okada ducks him, and Okada with an elbow drop pressing the action, and Omega comes back with an axe handle chomp and whips reverse up and over, and Okada swings him around and puts him up top and drop kicks him to the floor. Then Don Callis gets on from commentary from some cheap shots, and Okada out with a double axe handle and smashing Okada into the Spanish announce desk and climbing on top of it with him, and he spikes the international champion with a DDT, and Kota Ibushi gives him a peep talk slowly, and Omega recovers as a ref, as the ref since counts as he makes back inside, only to eat another DDT from the Rainmaker, and back and forth, boom, 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 boom. And then Kenny Omega blesses him with a drop kick and sends him to the floor, but he slows to capitalize with his mid-ascension hurting and head up top, and missile drop kick to the back and covers for two up top, mocking from precision, just huge falling palm kick and elbow from Omega, hooking him, an avalanche fireman buster up the ropes, and Okada side slaps German suplex and keeping the twist lock, turning into a ripcord, and Omega ducks the Rainmaker and a jackknife reverse, only a near fall and dragon suplex from Omega off the ropes, and Okada with the drop kick right onto the bottom, and both men are down and out, and driving elbow drop connects and looking for the tombstone, and Kenny Omega blocking with everything he's got, and Okada charging his momentum and drops his knees with a shoulder gut buster right into their sins, and headbutt top again, and driving elbow connects and snaps, zooms, flares, bird, dropping, doing the zooming in with the Okada flipping off and drawing Omega to his feet, and Omega turtle ups his face on the of the Rainmaker, so Okada just drops him with a knee and then twist control since Okada with kicks after kick to his face. Then Okada lets go for punches but gets a feed trigger and then a power bomb rolls through to another feed trigger so close. Then Okada lands the corner and a feed trigger to the back and Omega picks him up and puts him up the turnbuckle and climbing to join him in a wild jinx on his face and a full Nelson has since shoving gear to his headbutt and since all the way up top and a dragon suplex and another free trigger to the back of the ropes and then an electric chair Okada and counters and then a tombstone power driver connects and then a serious lariats and no deal inducts the Rainmaker back to the electric chair and Okada hangs on for dear life and since Druss connects, but the Rainmaker kicks out, and Don Callis' family is getting tired of handling, but Kota Ibushi takes care of Rocky Romero, and Okada gets in with the Don Callis back to Okada, and one Winged Angel connects, and Don Callis pulls the ref out of the ring. Then Okada checks on the ref and calls for another ref here, and comes, the other ref, and a feed trigger back into the chair, and Okada sleeps out, and Rainmaker not enough, and both men down and out and slow recovering on their hand and knees as they crawl to the face each other and forehead to forehead and from their knee to their knee and they start trading elbows and a feed trigger gets a drop kick and a ripcord counter with a small package so close and then a revolution body slam from Okada and another ripcord and then Okada did the Rainmaker and that's how he won and your new AEW, the first ever AEW in qualifying champion Okada, man. That was good, man. Now we're going to talk about the main event, but I'm going to talk this really fast, guys, and stuff. So there was a lot of blood in this match. It was really good, guys. And Adam Page won this match with the help of Swerve Strickland, the help of Darby Allin coming back, Bryan Danielson coming out. All kinds of good stuff, guys. They were going back and forth and stuff. And then, Jon Moxley was doing his chokeholds and all of that stuff. And then trying to win the match and stuff and all that. And then Adam Page did the Bloodshot Lariat. And that's how he won, guys. He did the Bloodshot Lariat and he couldn't get back up and all that. And then he was going to come back. He tried to come back up and he did. And all of that. I'm sorry about that, guys. I nemmer now. Now I nemmer. So yes, guys, he did that stuff, and they were going back and forth. And then Adam Page won with the choking Jon Moxley with the chain, and then Jon Moxley tapped out, and that's how Jon Moxley lost by tapping out, and that's how Adam Page became the AEW World Champion by choking out Jon Moxley with the chain, guys. That was good stuff, man. And the Pyro went off, and I give this show a 10 out of 10. All in was an amazing show, guys. I'm going to speed this up anyways, guys. I'm sorry I'm going to speed this up. But I'm going to give you quick results from NXT Great American Bash and Evolution. And then I'm going to get my other reviews done. So sorry about that, guys. So yes, guys, we had Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe defeating the Flutter Influence. Then we had Obo Femi defeating Usha Amora, which that was a great match as two guys. And then we had Eden Page defeating Ricky Saints, which that was a great match and stuff. It was a great freaking match with Ricky Saints and Eden Page, guys, and stuff, and the dark side and all that cool stuff. Then we had Soruka defeating Easy Dame and retaining her NXT Women's North American Championship. Then we had Devon Evans defeating Jasper Troy, which I thought Jasper Troy was going to win, but it didn't happen. But I gave that show a 7 out of 10, guys. A 7 out of 10. Oh, man. I'm sorry, guys. I'm giving you that quick result from that. I'd be here all day if I talk about it. So that's why I'm doing it fast. So sorry about that, guys. Then we had Evolution 2, guys. Oh, man. The women killed it, man. The women killed it, I'm telling you. So yes, guys. Let's talk about it. So the Intercontinental Championship, Becky Lynch defeated Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. I really wanted Lyra, the win that match, but it was still a great match, and Becky Lynch won. It was a banger match, the opener. Then we had NXT Women's Championship. Jacy Jane defeated Jordan Grace. That was a great match, back and forth, back and forth. And then Blake Monroe hit the belt on behind Jordan Grace when she was trying to come back up top, and in the ring. She was just standing there, and then she hit her on the ropes and stuff. And then Jacy Jane did her move, and that's how she retained. And I thought Jordan Grace was going to win, but didn't happen. But it was a great match. And then we had the Women's Tag Team Championships. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez fences Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte Flair fences Soruka, and Saraya fences the Ibuki Warriors, which was a great match as well, going back and forth and stuff, which was really good. Then we had Tiffany Stratton defeating Trish Stratus, which was a great match. Trish Stratus did great in that match, guys. Really good stuff from Trish Stratus and stuff. Then we had Jade Cargill defeating Naomi, which that was a great match, and Jade Cargill won. And then we had Stephanie Foucault win the Battle Royal. Nia Jax did good at that match. Lash Legend did great in that match too, guys, and all the women did good. Nikki Bella and all of that. Chelsea Green and all of that. That was really good stuff, and all those women in that match, guys. That was really good stuff, I'm telling you guys. I'm sorry I'm speeding up the results and letting you guys go. And then we had the cash-in with Naomi, and Naomi won and became the Women's World Champion and defeated Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, and I was so happy. I was like, please don't have Rhea Ripley. Please don't have Rhea Ripley get back the title. And I was like, yes. But, she has to face Rhea Ripley and Io Sky again at SummerSlam, so I hope Naomi retains at SummerSlam, but we'll talk about that in another video. But yes, guys, that's all I have to say. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit those notification bells. As always, guys, this is Christopher Jackson Denver. I'll say it again. This is Christopher Killer. I said Christopher Jackson Denver. That was my other name that I used to use too, but I'm going to probably go back to that again. This is Christopher Killer. I'll say it again. This is Christopher Killer 303. I'll say it again. This is Christopher 303. Peace out.